Christianity is being completely frozen out of America.
76% of all adults identify themselves as Christians in this country. And Christianity is being frozen out. I mean, were they at like 99% and then they just dropped to 76% and that's the big freeze or something? I mean, what are you talking about? Frozen? Why use the word frozen in the first place? Why not phased out or something? But I see you got your picture. I see you got your little editing set up, and you know, there's a cross and there's ice and there's a flag, and it's all very symbolic.
Why can't I pray in school?
Who said you can't pray in school? Who said you can't pray in school? You can pray in school. Praying takes place in the mind, right? No one has control over your mind. So, why can't you pray in school? You have access to your brain. Praying takes place in the brain. What's stopping you from praying? I don't understand. Oh, you mean you can't force your religion down someone else's throat. That's what you mean you can't do. No one's saying you can't pray in school. Of course you can pray in school. You just go in there and you start praying. No one's stopping you. Just do that. You're saying, why are people stopping me from taking my religion and shoving it down someone else's throat? That's what you're saying. Why can't I do that? Well, it's because we live in a secular nation, and just like you don't want Mohammed shoved down your throat, I don't really want Jesus shoved down mine. Do you understand how that works?
Why do I have to check my religion at the door?
Again, you're not checking anything at a door. You can be religious and go to public schools. And you can pray when you're there. The teachers might say, hey, I really need you to pay attention. So depending on when you do it, I mean, it might be an issue. But if you do it, I guess, during maybe some study times you have, perhaps during lunch. I know you guys pray all the time before you eat stuff. So I'm sure you do that anyways. I mean, the only thing you're saying is, I really want to take my religion, my Jesus, my God, and I want to put it down the throats of other people. And I want to do it in a public building that is paid for by everyone through their tax dollars. That's what you're saying.
Why can't I write about God in my school papers?
So imagine this. Your teacher gives you an assignment where you need to write a 3-page essay. And it needs to be about the moon landing. Okay? So you're going to write a 3-page essay about the moon landing. And then you turn in you turn in a book report all about Jesus. Okay, you're not supposed to do that. All right? And I can't understand what class would have you turn in book reports about Jesus and God. It sure shit wouldn't be history class.
Why do I have to tolerate people cursing my God, but I am not allowed to talk about God in my faith?
I don't know. Most schools I went to had a no cursing policy. I think you got like a 3-day suspension for saying fuck. You know? So I guess it depends what school you go to, but usually cursing in any fashion is against the rules, and depending on what school you go to, it's either greatly enforced or it's not enforced at all. So I don't know.
Why are they taking God out of my history books?
History is supposed to be about what actually happened. So there's no room for mystical, magical, invisible beings. Do you not understand? Why are they taking leprechauns out of the history books? Why are they taking goblins out of the history books? One, I don't think they were ever there in the first place. And two, they're not supposed to be there because they're not a part of history. I mean, the myths that make them up and fun storytelling, that's part of history. And, you know, I certainly don't mind learning about that. But the fact that these things are real and they actually exist in the real world and interact with people over time, it's not part of history, so it doesn't belong in the history books.
Why do they teach every other theory in science except creation?
Creationism is not a theory. Okay? Theories are based off facts that we know about the world. Creationism is not based off any facts except for the fact that the world exists and animals exist and other details like that that don't really matter, and we all agree to them anyways.
Why am I called names? Because I believe in marriage the way God designed it.
Some even call us hateful,
hypocrites, unloving,
closed-minded,
bigots.
Yeah, that all sounds pretty accurate.
Why can't Tim Tebow praise God after making a touchdown without causing a national uproar?
The football coach at Ridgeland High School in Georgia was investigated by the school board.
Did he abuse a student?
Is he a terrorist? He allowed local churches to feed his football team.
Did he abuse a student?
Is he a terrorist?
Is he a terrorist?
So apparently, if you're a coach and you get investigated by the school board, there's reason to suggest that you're either abusing a child or you're a terrorist. Abusing a child, physically, sexually, mentally, verbally, who knows? But you could be abusing a child or you could be a terrorist. Remember the 19 hijackers on 9/11? They were terrorists. So you could be one of them because you got investigated by the school board.
In public school, I'm called lesbian
Or gay.
for not kissing or for wanting to save myself from marriage.
I don't know, man. Do whatever you want in your own life, and that's cool. Whatever. You want to save yourself under some weird dogmatic religion because they just say so, that's, whatever. Save yourself. Good. But, and I also don't approve of bullying, so knock it off, bullies. Quit name-calling people.
In public school, dating is an obligation.
In public school, people are rude and disrespectful towards Christians.
What is he talking about? People are rude and disrespectful against Christians? So 76% of American citizens identify themselves as Christians. So I guess it's the 24% in high school that's just destroying the 76%? Is that what's happening? Are you so pathetic and weak that you would allow a small minority to overrule the large majority? That's what you're saying? Remember, most people are Christians. So when you say, oh man, people are really, name-calling the Christians and people are really dissing on the Christians at school, which people are you talking about? A few people who are like just name-calling everyone? Or are you saying other Christians are giving you shit? I mean, what are you saying? Where are the Pacifics? Specifics? I don't know how to say that word. But why aren't you clear about what you're talking about? You just randomly say, oh yeah, people are just mean to Christians. Yeah, whatever, I heard that somewhere.
Bullying is common.
I agree. Bullying is common, and I don't approve of it either. What that has to do with Christianity, I remember that a lot of bullies tend to be Christian. Is that what you're referring to?
What we see in our health classes,
Sex education.
4th grade and up.
Is pornography.
I love that kid. I just love 4th grade and up, man. He's just thinking about them titties. 4th grade. Once you get to 4th grade, oh man, just big ass titties.
People make fun of me because I don't believe in abortion.
Okay, a lot of people out there don't believe in abortion. A lot of people. Are they all being made fun of, or just you? And I do have to say that most people who don't believe in abortion, they don't mean that they don't believe in abortion for themselves. They mean they don't believe that anyone should have the right to abort. That's what they're referring to. I think you should be a little bit more clear on which side you really fall on.
In public school, people believe Christians are goody-goods and boring.
So I guess what you're saying is that in high school, the small minority believes that the vast majority is goody-goods and boring? I don't know, man. That's just not how I remembered high school.
Dirty jokes fill the hallways between classes.
That's what I remember. I do remember dirty jokes. It was awesome.
During class,
Before school.
at lunch, after school.
On the bus, off the bus.
Get the idea?
Dude, this is not crack or sex. There's a few dirty jokes told throughout the day. What are you talking about that it's everywhere I go in a public air, anything about school? There's just dirty jokes everywhere.
Despite modern popular belief, America was founded as a Christian nation.
That Constitution would be littered with Christian shit. It would just be Jesus this, God that, blah blah blah, bullshit here, bullshit there. It would be clearly obvious. But no, they wrote into the Constitution that you are not allowed to have a religious text for any form of office.
My grandparents tell me that the church used to be the center of the community.
Good. I'm glad to hear that it's no longer the center of the community. That's just like telling me, hey man, we used to have a cult, everyone used to go to it, and now they don't do it so much anymore. Good. Good.
In school, prayer and pledge to the flag was welcomed and appreciated.
I never cared to say my Pledge of Allegiance.
No one would dare not to stand, place their hand over their heart, and recite the pledge.
We were forced to do it. You really mean to say is no one would dare go against the teacher on this matter? There's a difference. It's not as if everyone is so... They just love the Pledge of Allegiance and they would never dare go against it. No, they wouldn't dare go against the teacher who was forcing them to say the Pledge of Allegiance. I really did not like to say the Pledge of Allegiance. I thought it was stupid. I mean, I was like, I'm pledging what to what? I don't even know what any of this means. And yet I'm forced to do it over and over again. As if just that alone will help me understand this. No.
America was once a force for good.
Aren't they so vague? Just vague. America was once the force for good. Yeah, well, it was once the force for evil. So what? What does that mean? What does that have to do with anything? Let's see. I remember I understand that we killed most of the Indians. We enslaved most of the blacks while killing them. America did a lot of evil things, but America also stood for a lot of great things. But what does that have to do with anything about what you're saying? America used to be the force for good. Like, as if America was this force of Christianity and it just, like, paved the way of everything that was awesome, and then it just slowly went away.
America was once the hope for the world. What happened?
In 1962, the Supreme Court ruled that prayer was unconstitutional in schools.
Forced prayer. Forced prayer. There's a huge difference. You are allowed to pray in schools. You are not allowed to force others to pray. There's a big difference, and you're not clarifying it. You vague. You're so vague.
In 1963, the courts ruled the Bible unconstitutional.
You mean we're not allowed? You mean they're not allowed to teach the Bible in school as it's a literal fact? Because it's not. Besides, why do you like the Bible so much anyways? Do you have any idea how much suffering there is in the Bible? Do you have any idea how much immorality there is in the Bible? There is some fucked up shit in that book of yours. And I bet you do not even read it. You don't even read it, do you? You just listen to your preacher or whatever every so often, and he'll give off a verse or he'll tell a little story from the Bible, and you'd be like, wow, that wasn't so bad.
Saying that if the Ten Commandments were read in school,
A student might feel inclined to follow them.
Really?
These are the same people who would die head over heel if someone went into their school and started teaching their kids all about Muhammad and Islam. If you went into that school and said, hey, we're going to learn all about Islam and how Muhammad is your Lord and Savior, their heads would explode. They would hate that. They would scream victim at the top of their lungs. They would say, you can't do that. You cannot teach that religion to my kids. We're Christian. You can't do that. But they want to take their Christianity and do that exact same thing to everyone else. How they don't see that huge-ass contradiction, I have no idea. Is it not obvious? Or is it more like, oh, well, most of us are Christian anyway, so majority rules, so fuck everyone else? Is your religion so weak that it can't stand on its own? That you just being religious and your family being religious and your community being religious, that's not enough? 76% of identified Christians in this country, that's not enough? You gotta take your religion and you gotta shove it down everyone else's throat? Because here's the problem. Religion, it's bullshit. It's not actually true. Invisible magical creatures don't actually exist. And so when you teach things that aren't real, we have a poor understanding of reality, and so we deal with reality on a lower level.
For over 50 years, Christians have been unwilling to get involved. People who do not love our God have stolen our country.
So a small minority, who I guess is the enemy, who also lives in the country, has stolen the country. The country was never theirs to begin with, but they live here and they stole it. Is that what you're saying?
Jesus said we are salt and light.
Salt and light melt ice.
Jesus said we're salt and light. And salt and light melt ice. Wow, and that's the kind of metaphor they were discussing about how Christianity is being frozen, but now there's going to be salt and light, which is going to unfreeze it and bring Christianity back to America? I don't know. This is just so fucking crazy.
It is time for a thaw.
President Ronald Reagan called America a shining light on a hill, a beacon of hope for the world to see.
It's always about Reagan with these guys, isn't it? It's always Reagan. Why is it every time it's Reagan? I never really hear, man, you know, George Washington once said this, or Abraham Lincoln said that, or blah, 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 blah. Just anyone else. Say George Bush, say Clinton, just anyone. It's always Reagan.
We are going to let our little American lights shine.
Through the power of Jesus Christ, we proclaim today.
We refuse to be frozen out at the public square. Our voices will be heard.
Yeah, it's called the First Amendment. Your voices are being heard all the time. What's the problem? At most, people just criticize what you say, but you're still allowed to say it.
Let's reverse it.
Fix it. We are going to turn it around. This is a call to our generation. We are calling on the youth of America to join us.
At Reach America, we are creating a Christ-centered counterculture, a C4 community.
A place filled with Christian teens on a mission
to reach America and our friends for Christ.
If you're a fucking idiot, you should join this group.
Christ and our country matter to us.
At Reach America, we are learning to lead our generation.
We are servants, encouragers.
We are learning to hear God's voice and adjust our lives to His will.
God is changing our lives.
We are building life-changing relationships.
We are a family.
We are a team.
See, I like the family and team thing, but everything before that was just stupid. We're changing. God's inside me. I can feel God. Blah, blah, blah.
We are an army.
Christ is our commander.
His will is our charge.
Christ is their commander. They're an army, and they're going to war.
We are impacting our friends,
our families, our community,
our state, our country.
We are in a war for the hearts and souls of our generation.
And we know it.
Jesus is their commander, they're soldiers, and they're going to war. Right? You people scare me. All you people want to do is kill, fight, destroy. Us versus them. We're the good guys, they're the bad guys. We just need to kill everyone else and we're good to go.
Failure is not an option.
Of course failure is an option. You might not choose to fail, but you could still fail, and that's an option.
We are going to win this war.
If God be for us,
who can be against us?
War! Going to war, guys!
The thaw has begun.
High school Christian teens,
join us.
Join us! Join us at Reach America!
In the fight for our generation.
For our nation.
For our future.
in America.
We still hold these truths to be self-evident.
That all men are created equal.
That they are endowed by their Creator.
with certain unalienable rights.
That among these are
Life,
liberty,
and the pursuit of happiness.
Do they even know what they just said? Do they know where it comes from? Do they know what it means? Do they have any fucking clue? Or are they just saying it? Are they just repeating it?
join the movement at Reach America.
Let's reach our communities.
Let's reach our states.
Let's reach America.
Remember, the Force will be with you.
Adults, please pray for us.
Always.
Support us.
And get involved.
Together, looking to Christ as a strength, the Thaw will be complete, and America will be one nation under God. Again.
One day, America will be one nation under the spaghetti monster. Oh wait, that's retarded. And America will one day be a nation under Islam. Again. Oh, no? Oh, Jesus. Oh, my bad.